just did a 12-minute video. Hear that? Oh my goodness. Wow. This is the University of Arkansas Library, and they're redoing the basement and the first floor. And they've been doing that for over a year. Higher education, which I really believe in, spends billions and billions of dollars in the United States to help people learn more and become very knowledgeable in their fields and good in their fields, hopefully. And it's supported by taxpayers, and it's been supported for hundreds of years. This is a land grant college, which happened after the Civil War. They said, we want to promote education. And my son went to Cornell for graduate school. That's a land grant institution. I think the only one in the Ivy League. The idea of promoting the public, promoting education. And it's a good thing. But it's not, we don't need to make these people like kings and queens. And the worker bees are way down here struggling and living in shitty apartments and housing. We have to believe in equality, because that's what democracy requires. Democracy, we're all equal and we vote and everybody's equal. But like this last election, when Musk spends $250 million promoting his candidates. It's like, what? The Supreme Court, 5-4, Republicans, vote to no restrictions on political spending money on elections, freedom of speech, helping ruin democracy. I think a lot of countries, their elections are like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. People like to say, America is the greatest. People like to say that because that way we don't have to look at the shit that we do, including to ourselves. We do a lot of this stuff to ourselves. We hurt ourselves. We hurt our own country. But then somebody gets up and goes, we're the greatest country in the world. And everybody has to shut up and say, yeah, but what about, we're so unequal. We're one of the most unequal of all industrialized countries. Yeah, we're still the greatest. What about the poor people? What about the working people that can't afford rent? What about the inequality that continues to grow? What about the concentration of wealth? What about the first guy worth $400 billion? What? Good luck with democracy. This is an oligarchy. This is the rich control. The rich control what's going on. And it's because we vote that way. We create our own hell. We create our own living hell. We deny that climate change is real. We don't want it to change. We deny that our politics have been sold to the rich. We deny that. We elect a billionaire. I hope America saves itself. I have hope. I have hope. Why am I in the library? Because I want to start, sometimes we want to do something. And a lot of times we'll talk to our friends and family. I want to do this. I want to do it. You'll say, I want to go to France. I want to write a novel. I want to take piano lessons, whatever it is. And it's hard for you to take that first step. So I want to do this. I may call it something else. Liberate, legislate, love. I've read so many books on the Constitution, the Revolution, not the wars, but the ideology and how the Constitution was written. I haven't read this. Jack Rakove, I don't know how to say his name. I think I read another one of his books. Bernard Balin. I think he's won 2 Pulitzers. Gordon Wood, and a lady I love, one of the best books on the Constitution, Miracle at Philadelphia. Miracle at Philadelphia. Catherine Drinker Bowen. CDB. That's how I remember it. CDB, which I hardly know anything about, but I know that's a thing. That's well written. It's kind of entertaining. 1776 by McCullough. That's good. That's entertaining. And some historians, that's historical fiction. What's not fiction? This is, he's still saying what he thinks Madison meant, and Jefferson meant, and Hamilton meant. And it's 240 years later. What do you mean? What do you mean about liberty? What do you mean about equality? But, one of the reasons we like the Constitution is because we don't have to think for ourselves. And this idea of originalism, what did they mean when they wrote the Constitution? You do whatever you want. Bush v. Gore, the Supreme Court got involved in the Florida elections. Elections are by the states, not the Supreme Court. But 5-4, Republican said, hey, we need this Republican president. Original intent? I don't think so. Political intent? Yeah. What was it, 5-4 Republican or 6-3, saying that a president can commit crimes when they're president? Trump can commit a crime, no big deal. He's above the law. That's not in the Constitution. That's not original intent. Who knows what original intent is, but I don't think that is. You can have a criminal. Yeah, we'll have a criminal as a president. Who knows what they'll do next? We made a big mistake. America, you made a big mistake. We got a storm coming. And we had a storm coming anyway. It's called global climate change. Destroying so much. Creating higher grocery prices. Isn't that what Trump said? I won because of grocery prices. At first he said, I'm going to bring down grocery prices. I'm going to bring down grocery prices. But now he's saying, it's not. We like promises. We don't care if people lie. We want them. You're the greatest in the world. And these people over here are terrible. And enemies and vermin. But you're the greatest. We kind of like that. Yeah, me. I'm good. They're bad. Divide and conquer. I guess that's what happened. But a man that talks about sexual assault in his deposition said, hey, that's the way it's been for a million years. Unfortunately, or fortunately, he goes, unfortunately, or fortunately. Maybe it's fortunate for him to assault somebody else. That's your moral leader? Wow. What happened to my country? Sad. Economics. We are ignorant. We are lazy. We are reprehensible by what we've done to this country, creating a very rich few at the top and so many struggling at the bottom. We've done that. We're a democracy. We continue to do that. The first thing they're going to do when Trump is inaugurated with Republicans is just like last time. Tax cuts for the rich and the corporations. And maybe a little bit for the little people. And if you remember, and many people don't remember because they don't give a shit about economics until they can say, my groceries, my rent went up, but they don't look at the bigger picture. They cut taxes on the rich and the corporations, and they were going to continue. They cut some taxes on the middle class or lower income. Those were going to expire. What does that tell you? I mean, come on. Working people are dumb. Country people aren't dumb. I'm from Arkansas. Simple people aren't dumb, but we can act dumb. We can act dumb. We can be lazy. We can work real hard, but then not want to deal with the issues, legislation, economics. And we reap the whirlwind. We reap the whirlwind. So one man's got $400 billion, and millions and millions of people have nowhere to go, out of hope, because that's what we've created. Mammon, avarice, the love of money, that's us. Not just us, all over the world. Some of the richest people are leaders of the communists, very wealthy people in charge of a communist country. About as insane as the leaders of a democracy being filthy rich. All these countries saying, we believe in the people, we're of the people, but it's so unequal, so sad. Anyway, what did I write? I write songs. I try to be hopeful. Moral disaster, slaves vote for the master. That's what's happened. The slaves voting for the master, saying, please, master, help us. Why are you voting for the master? Why don't you vote for other slaves and end slavery? That's probably a better tactic. For goodness sake. For goodness sake. You don't have to be selfish about it. I don't want my brother and sister to be poor. I don't want my brother and sister to be a slave. Struggle for housing and food, medical care. I want them to have a good life. Everybody should have a good life. Nice neighborhood, not high crime. Green space, library. Love without condition. So the focus is on love. The focus isn't on money, greed, me. And the great transition, we haven't made that yet, into loving each other, into being better people. Our sacred mission, our innocent intuition into the great transition. The honest, honorable politician, loving without condition. Love your enemies, love without condition. The great transition. Quit being so goddamn greedy. You can say, oh, he said a bad word. Yeah, the bad word is greedy. That was the bad word. You want the bad word? That's the bad word. Greedy. Selfish. Self-righteous, intolerant, judgmental, racist, sexist. Poverty. Decadence. There's the bad words. There's your bad words. Love each other. Love yourself. Love the earth. Everything's going to be good.